Welcome back to the Neon Press. I am your host, Johan. In today's video, we're going to talk about something a little bit concerning. Square Enix sells off Tomb Raider and 3 studios to fund NFT games. Now, based off the headline, I'm assuming that they sold Tomb Raider and the studios that helped develop it. And the subheadline actually even reads that the Final Fantasy publisher will net $300 million from the sale, which will bankroll new efforts including blockchain-based games. So in this video, we're going to take a deeper dive into this article because I don't know about you, but I very much like Tomb Raider and would like to know what's going to happen to the franchise. So it says that Square Enix has been one of the loudest voices in support of blockchain and NFT-based games in the gaming industry. But now the publisher is really putting its money where its mouth is. Today, the Japanese firm announced that it will sell off studios and major properties, including Tomb Raider, to help fund new business moves, including in the blockchain space. The Embracer Group has agreed to pay $300 million to Square Enix to acquire properties such as Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Legacy of Kain, and Thief, as well as game studios, Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal. The 3 studios collectively employ nearly 1,100 people in total. In its press release, Square Enix pinned the sale to a need to adapt to the changes underway in global business environment by establishing a more efficient allocation of resources. It also specifically called out the launch of new businesses, with blockchain listed alongside technology as AI and cloud computing. So it's fantastic to see Square Enix moving into the metaverse, but using some of their strongest IPs such as Tomb Raider and Deus Ex, Legacy of Kain, and Thief to fund their transition into Web 3.0 or the blockchain does not seem like a very wise decision. The deal that was struck between the Embracer Group and Square Enix does not specify whether or not Square Enix will still retain some rights. Regardless, like I said, selling off some of your strongest IPs doesn't seem like the wisest business move to move into the metaverse. People will want to see these games in the metaverse. Now it's essentially going to be like the ending to Game of Thrones, where it's not written by the original creator. Now all these games, Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Legacy of Kain, and Thief, will all have completely new writers. But moving back to the article, it says that Square Enix still has its long-running Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and Kingdom Hearts role-playing game franchises, along with newer IPs like Life is Strange and Just Cause. However, it will be apparently slimming down its overall game development operations as a result of the sale. So there's the answer right there. It is sold. What a travesty. I hate to be the one to nitpick, but it seems like those corporate bonuses probably should have gone to the business's own bank. This in turn could have been used to develop themselves into the Web 3.0, but now they're finding themselves in this position with lack of cash in a rising interest rate environment. This means every time that the Fed speaks, those interest rates go up and their purchasing power goes down. But going on with this absolute slaughter of Square Enix, the Embracer Group will also take over the rights to more than 50 past games published by Square Enix. The Swedish publisher was founded in 2011 and previously went by the name Nordic Games and THQ Nordic. It has risen to prominence through a series of previous acquisitions, including Borderland developers Gearbox Entertainment, as well as Dark Horse Comics. Now, if we take a quick look at the actual Embracer Group website, we can see that the Embracer Group is a parent company of a business developing and publishing PC, console, mobile, and board games, and other related media for the global market, an ecosystem for entrepreneurial companies in the gaming and entertainment industry. This seems to be a big competitor to Animoca Brands, but another venture capital company that is looking to just absorb as many IPs as they can. And now with these franchises being owned by a venture capital company, the original creative essence of these games is completely gone. It is now behind the doors of business majors who want consistent returns and consistent releases. They do not care that these games are based off of creative experiences, based on individuals' experiences in life. That's how most of these video games that are world-renowned become world-renowned. Take Pokemon, for example. Pokemon was not a game built by business majors. It was built by an individual who was trying to share the experience of capturing animals as a child. This, of course, had a creative twist to it, and, well, everyone knows what Pokemon is now. It's a household name, but the important aspect of it is it's based off an individual's experience. It's not something that can be crunched down by a business major. Video games are interactive stories, essentially interactive books. It is a creative market, so it will be judged accordingly. Thankfully, we have rating systems currently on Web 2.0 apps like Steam. Here we can actually see user reviews and the ratings, along with brief descriptions of what they thought about the game. We all know how business majors just want to push games out for holiday sales. The most notorious one right now is, of course, Battlefield 2042. The PC user player base went down to a few thousand people. This is a AAA game pushed out by EA, a massive publisher. And just for a frame of reference, the free-to-play game Fortnite has 350 million active users. The numbers show exactly what people think of it. And if we take a look at the game studios they sold, Eidos Montreal helped develop all 4 games that they just sold off. Square Enix Montreal helped develop the Go versions of these games. So Deus Ex Go, Lara Croft Go, Hitman Go. But the real travesty of the sell-off comes when you look at Crystal Dynamics' website. If you take a look at Crystal Dynamics' website, you can see their game list. Dates all the way back to PS1, Gex era. I'm assuming these are the other 50 plus games that they are talking about that were sold off. But regardless, this article goes on just to talk about how they're trying to just enter the metaverse, enter the blockchain. But Square Enix only has Final Fantasy for the American audience, Dragon Quest for their Japanese audience and some Americans, and Kingdom Hearts for a very, very specific audience in America, and a very specific audience in Japan. Of course, they have Life is Strange and Just Cause, but these really aren't what Square Enix was known for. Thankfully, they haven't sold off Final Fantasy yet. But if Square Enix needs any more money to fund this transition into Web 3.0, and they have to sell anything else off, the gaming company will be a complete shell. And if you want to see any of their games see the light of day, you're gonna have to beg at the feet of business majors at the Embracer Group. You know, there are some good and bad aspects of the blockchain, and I would have to say this is definitely a bad aspect. And with them being such a large video game company, hopefully this is not setting the principle for many others to follow. Hopefully we get to see Tomb Raider sometime in the future. But until then, stay safe, my friends, and I'll see you on the block.